My name is Dick Brown, and I live and work here in Denver, Colorado. Warren Village, this was in the early days, before we had lots of social programs and things like that, would be taking in women and children and things like that, and providing them not only a place to be, but also some job skills and things like that. It's a good program, very good program. And for some reason, they thought that they were tax exempt from property taxes. And unfortunately, they didn't have that particular tax exemption. They weren't C3. So they ended up with the city auditor saying, wait a minute, these guys owe us taxes. And I remember a big meeting in the mayor's office in which the auditor was pushing really hard. And Bernie Valdez, who was the director of social services at that time, said, don't do this. Please do not do this. I mean, if you put these guys out of business financially, it will cost us millions of dollars to replicate what it is that they're doing. This is a good program. Don't do this. Well, the auditor, being the person he was, went ahead and, of course, won the case. And Representative Jeannie Fotz from Southwest Denver, who's now on the city council, introduced a piece of legislation that would have exempted them from taxation. And so I was at the Capitol, and she came up and she said, are you going to come in and oppose my bill? And I said, what bill's that, Jeannie? And she said, well, my bill that would exempt Warren Village from property taxes. I said, gosh, I'm not sure I've seen that bill. But, I'm really busy. Let me get back to you. And she said, well, it's going to be in committee. I said, well, I'll try to get it taken a look at. Only time I've ever done this in my career, I buried the bill. I just buried the bill. The city auditor found out about it at a county treasurer's meeting and just went hysterical. So I got a call from the Sherry Sloan, the mayor's administrative assistant, and she said, well, Dick, she said, would you like to explain to the mayor what it is that you're doing on this Warren Village bill? I said, sure. When would it be convenient? He said, he's waiting. Come on down. So I went in and met with the mayor, the auditor, and Sherry Sloan, and Jerry Kemp, who at that time was the manager of revenue. And the auditor was just red in the face and veins bulging. And so I was sitting there and to get all the way done. And McNichols was so incredibly calm and cool. He looked over and he says, well, Dick, he said, those are pretty serious charges. What do you got to say for yourself? I said, well, boss, and those of us who were on his inner circle called him boss. And said, I have two words for you, Fuller and Fahrenkrog. And he says, now those are good words. Why would I be interested? And I said, well, John Fuller is the president of the board at Warren Village, and John Fahrenkrog is the treasurer. And Fuller and Fahrenkrog were a couple of the biggest realtors in Denver and were Republicans and were also two of the largest fundraisers for the mayor. Mayor didn't even bat an eye. He looked over and he said to the auditor, says, get along with Dick on this one. And so the bill went through without any problems. Warren Village was fine. About 2 weeks later, I got a call from Sherry Sloan again. She said, how would you like to have a private lunch with the mayor, John Fuller, and John Fahrenkrog at Warren Village? I said, I would pay admission to go to that lunch.